Hello, it's Wednesday, the 31st of March 2021, and I'm making this video for the Red Serpent Wavespell on day 3 of it, which is Blue Electric Hand. This is an amazing 13-day process, and lots happening now as we've started the solar wheel in Aries, and you can feel the energy shift, the sap is rising, lots of things happening, and just really factoring that in after the Libra full moon as well on Sunday on the 28th. So that energy of seeing the balance coming in, a completion of time, 6 months since the autumn equinox, and a very interesting full moon it was too. So how was it for you? It was on day 13 of the last wave spell, Yellow Human, and it was Yellow Cosmic Seed, and my partner's birthday as well. So he's now in a 13-year of a 13-year cycle of yellow seed. So lots of things shifting for him. And what has been shifting for you around your personal story, around relationship, 12 months anniversary just over since the world went into a different way of being, very restricted way of being, and what that has meant for you. So in terms of the calendar, here we go. And we have, this is where we are today. So as I said, on Wednesday, so on Monday, we began the 29th of March, my son's birthday. He started a 13-year cycle of Red Serpent. And this is how you can really use this calendar in a very practical way. So as you can see, we're in the blue now. We've finished the red, we finished the white, and now we're in the blue. So we're transforming what's happened here since the 15th of December in this particular spiral. So remembering that we're working with Sagittarius energy, we're working with the 9th astrological sign. It's where stars are created in the constellation Sagittarius A and B, and that's very key to what's happening towards the end of the week as well. So more about that in a moment. As you can see, we have got 10 portal days of Akashic record of human evolution. So there's going to be lots happening on the planet, generally speaking. There's going to be lots happening in our personal life as well to really reveal this energy, and so that we can start to really focus on what's been happening for us over this very intense 12-month period. What have we learned during this time? And so that's really key today, because Blue Hand is the 7th avatar, the 7th Mayan sign. It's all about shaping our destiny. It's about doing that on planet Earth, learning about healing modalities in order to heal ourselves, learning how to work with this amazing tool, for example, which shows us what's happening every day, so that we can really connect to that. So today we have got the sun in Aries, and because we've moved out of that full moon energy now, we're going into waning moon. So this is a time of letting go of all that is dissonant, if you like, in energy, doesn't resonate with us, doesn't feel good, isn't harmony. Healing the harm time is really key for the letting go cycle of the moon. So really focusing on what happened in the first 2 weeks of when we had the new moon, and then the energy, new moon in Pisces, and then the energy was building up to the full moon in Libra. And so if you want to do any magical manifesting, when we first get the dark moon, so 2 to 3 days before that new moon energy, that's the time when we can really go inside and connect to our higher self, connect to our intuition, and get answers, and that are free from the conditioned mindset, depending on where we are on our personal inner clearance work. And then as that light starts to come, remember when it is actually the new moon, it's dark because there's no light being shed at that time. And then over the next couple of days, that's the perfect time to work with what you've experienced in your inner world, in your inner guidance, and start to create a goal that you want to manifest. And so, in terms of the new moon in Pisces, this is really about letting go of old karmic story in order to create new stories for ourselves, a new spiritual path, or connecting more to our spiritual path, becoming more aware of what it is. And the full moon in Libra really revealing where we're out of balance, maybe people pleasing, maybe harmony at all costs can be one of the shadows of Libra as well. So generally diplomatic, nice energy. In terms of moon gardening, it's the flower moon. And I live in the Libra parts of the zodiac, which you'll know if you watch my videos regularly. And so the energy here is about being on the peace path, joy, creating peace through healing the harm, rather than trying to people please to create harmony, which doesn't work and is often a coping mechanism that many people are using, trying to placate the narcissist from family times. And this is becoming more and more well known now by people who are doing this sort of work, is becoming very aware of what narcissism, personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder is. Sociopathy, psychopathy is key to healing the harm. Latest statistics, and I don't know where they come from, but reading articles recently, 1 in 20 people are sociopaths. And so this is very, very key in relationship to understand this. Lots of people who I have worked with over the past 10 years, as I've become aware of this, have experienced narcissistic relationship and are aware of the damage that it causes. We can see the damage on planet Earth right now, where people don't care about other people or the planet or anything. They just want to control other people and situations and make a lot of money, for example, with a high cost. And again, just seeing where that has taken us. Money in itself as a form of power, as an out of focus, out of balance way of being. Understandably, for many people, it has meant survival, but then it doesn't stop there. It just carries on, expanding, and we all pay a huge price for that. So, seeing the holograph that's out there right now because of relationships. So, what was happening for you in terms of relationship back a year ago, before this started, and what have you become very aware of? If, for example, you've been in a confined space, what has been brought to light for you? So remembering that although we might think this is orchestrated by key groups of people, it is also part of the divine plan, as it always is. Nothing is outside of the divine plan. And so it's always seeing the gold there for us as an individual, as a red skywalker, the person who is becoming very self-aware and, most importantly, doing their own personal healing. And that's what I offer you. That's what we're all here for at this time, to heal, to fulfill the prophecy, which is this is the end of time so that new ones can begin. As we heal and become a clear sign, then everything changes on the inside so the outside can change. So we have waning moon in Scorpio today, and I'm going to read you that at 18 degrees. This is aquaorfire.net is the website that I always use, and it comes from a channeled work called Inside Degrees. More about that on their website. People holding hands around a table. One candle is burning in the middle of the table. Intimate depths of camaraderie. Forces joined by spirit call. Gathering in the name of a greater vision, pooling resources, tapping what each does best, both inside the self and in soul links with others. Avid to combine forces, the drive to fuse, passion, desire, intent. A surge of power, being hugely drawn to consume separativeness and attain to unity and wholeness. A path or journey that will put you through every test and trial imaginable. Fierce resolve and encountering shadows and dissipations so thunderous and multiplex that it will take everything it has inside to see this one through. So key to focus on where this is in your chart as well. And so I'm just going to share with you rather. Today's PDF. So as I have spoken about before, people who join the 52-day process get a PDF. And so just scrolling through this now. And so we're in Red Serpent, we're in the 5th avatar, the 9th wave, excuse me, Wavespell. The gateway of the first 8 wave spells that we're in now. So now we're really working with the overtone energy, which is the 5th. And so what have we mastered around relationship? First and foremost with ourselves, what are we seeing showing up in our relationship? Because I offer you, it's always a repeat of our childhood. That's on one level, all we need to focus on is what happened in our childhood, what was great, expand on that, what wasn't good. This is what we're here to learn. And of course, sometimes this is difficult because we don't know what we don't know. We don't have conscious awareness of certain things, which is why we do them, which is why everybody does them. So just having that awareness is really, really key to shaping our destiny. So what do I need to know? What's happening for me? How can I take responsibility? So my ability to respond to what's happening for me. And so again, just a snapshot here, going back to the 15th of December, we had the first red castle. We've got everything that we need to know for this 260-day cycle around survival issues, around what the Great Mother is bringing us, so we can get in alignment with this new code. And so that lists there all of that. And then we went into Red Skywalker. Then we had 52 days of creating heaven on earth, seeing how well we did with that as a conscious creator, or again, gradually coming into conscious relationship. And now we are seeing where we are in conscious relationships. So, how to communicate with each other, how to, most importantly, as well, speak about what we want in relationship. How do we want to relate? How do we want to be loved and accepted, respected? And of course, the more that we become conscious, then the more that we start to connect to people who are conscious. People who are not conscious themselves cannot see other people because they cannot see themselves. That's the paradox of it. So that's it, really. It's just becoming more and more aware of that. So realizing that if somebody that we want to be in relationship with isn't very conscious, isn't doing any healing work, then they're going to bring up our own personal trauma story, because that's just how it works. So trying to speak the same language to people who aren't doing a healing process, who aren't self-aware, for example, it just is what it is. And it's just becoming clear about that. It's just how it works. We're becoming more clear about how this giant mystery school works. So again, going through key dates, so cross-referencing over. So blue hand, as you can see, we're on blue electric hand, the day of alchemy today. And so this goes back to the blue hand Wavespell, which was the 10th of January till the 22nd of January. So what was happening for you back then? Just after Christmas, what were you transforming? And so if you get your diary out, get your book of shadows out, if you've got one of those, your manual for yourself. This is so important. This is an essential part of the process for the conscious dreamer, is to know thyself. And this is how we do it, is to record information in whatever way you do that. So on your blog, for example, in your diary, this is really key. So that's what we're going back to today. So again, in all the PDFs that I create, these have got cross-reference dates on, so you can go back. So even if you don't understand the language, so it is a galactic language, something that you may not be used to, there are resources on my blog. If you go on to flowwithjo.com and look for resources in the menu, there are lots of things on there. And of course, you can just follow your own cosmic cookie trail, put in whatever you've come across. So it could be your own Mayan sign, for example, and just start doing research on the internet, see what you come up with, because each person's trail is unique for them. You will find what you need at the perfect time. When somebody does this process with me, they get all their codes listed here as to what years they're working with each time. And they also get key astrology as to what is going on here. And this particular tribe of red serpent, white dog, blue eagle, and yellow sun were very, very key to the Mayan people. And they used to have very key ceremony around burner days. Okay, so again, if you want to know more about that, check out my blog and just put in Flow with Jo burner days, and there's several articles on that. So red self-existing serpent, white self-existing dog, blue self-existing eagle, and yellow self-existing sun happen every 65 days. And they used to hold ceremonies then in order to have sacrifices, for example. Later powers had things like gladiator days. It's a way of harnessing the collective emotion, especially around the wound, and then using that energy in a collective channeling, if you like, channeling that energy. And of course, that is happening now on the planet around how people's fear is being used to create an outcome in a very controlled way using applied psychology. So on the planet, this has been going on in a whole new level since the 1950s. And again, that's the energy that we're revisiting now, is around the time of the Second World War, just before the Second World War. So just look at the shifts that happened then around our society in terms of roles that men and women played, for example, and how that's changed in some ways. A lot of the things that we hold in society as ideals, if you actually see what's going on, although some laws have moved on, although key laws were made at key times, for example, around the Nuremberg trials, these have been overridden. And again, a lot of people aren't aware of the law, they aren't aware of history. And this is really key. Personal history and planetary history is key for the informed conscious dreamer to understand, and understand that a lot of this energy has gone underground in relationship. It has not gone away because it has not been healed. And so it's still there in the collective unconsciousness of human beings. Very key to know that. So Mars continues in Gemini until April the 23rd, which is a key day, St. George's Day. Again, if you Google that, if you don't know the mythology in England around George and the dragon, it's very key stuff. It's all there in all the myths, in all different frameworks about the process. So again, following the cosmic cookie trail and finding it gives a bigger picture awareness around what dragon energy is. Also, the lust card, which I got for Yellow Cosmic Seed Day, that is about Leo, but it's also about the unicorn and the lion. And again, if you look at that cookie trail, these are all ancient frameworks around revealing process of magic and healing and being empowered. So if you look at elistrikinglytarot.com, and again, I'll put the link on, I'll mention the card that I got today in a moment. He gives an amazing depth to these cards that will help you understand the bigger picture. The Mayan Oracle is great as well for understanding this language, and I use those on a daily basis. So we begin the cycle, as I've said, with full moon in Libra energy. How are you feeling back then? What was it bringing up for you? This wave spell is all about, as I said, waning moon. So we don't have new moon in Aries until White Mirror, the next wave spell coming up. Venus has been in an amazing Kazemi, really close connection to the sun in Aries. So again, new beginnings, new story energy coming in. And we've got Mercury enters Aries on April the 3rd. So again, what we've been going through around Chiron in Aries, for example, the wounding over the past couple of years around what's coming to light. Who am I? Who do I want to be? How do I recraft my story? We've got Jupiter in the later degrees of Aquarius and Saturn in 11 to 13 degrees. A really, really key place to look as well when you start doing your own family mapping of code. Who is a red serpent in your family? So for me, my mum is, and my cousin is also, and I have other members of my family that are in that tribe as well. So again, this gives lots of information for me, seeing how this family story is taking shape and my role in it, most importantly. So what are the great things, like I said, what are the wounding things, and how do I start to become clear? Because my Mayan sign is a clear sign. Again, if you want to know more about that, look at my blog, 13 Clear Signs. And we have had one yesterday. So day 1, Monday the 29th, we had Red Serpent. Day 2 yesterday, so that was the new learning, what was happening for you yesterday, and that was a clear sign day as well as being a galactic portal day. So it's one of the 13 signs on Pakal Votan's tomb in the Temple of Inscriptions in Palenque, and that was discovered in 1952, and then later the Red Queen was discovered underneath. So again, Google that, find out more information. I have written articles about that on my blog as well, but this is a key time of awakening for us now, awakening to shaping our destiny, and that's what today is all about. So it's a portal day, key time for you to look back on in January and look back over your life. Notice when you had huge leaps forward. So maybe you had a healing intervention, you went somewhere magical, you awoke to something, and always remember that this is always available to us. Blue Hand, being the 7th avatar, is really about uncovering the avatar potentiality that we have in this lifetime. The more we heal, the more we can access that energy. And again, through being holistic, all areas of life coming into balance. And sometimes we have to go out of balance, sometimes we have to get ill to know the next stage of our journey as well. Sometimes this is where we stop doing our old egoic story and we're made to stop. That's very, very key too. And so for me, being here in Glastonbury has been a super focused healing journey. It's not at all what I thought it was when I first came. 52 ley lines coming in, map of the zodiac, and so very, very key here to see your story and really start healing it. Otherwise, you do tend to get very sick as well. So in terms of the cards that I got today, Spider Woman, Goddess card. So it's remembering that we're in this web. Spider Woman, help me remember the web that connects me and all life to you. Let us spin together a new world that honours each life form and all that you have created. So it's remembering that we're all part of this story that's evolving and unfolding. And whenever we go out of the storyline, that is health, for example. So there is a way to be healthy. There is a model for that as a human being, and slightly different, unique variations on that for each one of us as to what we need, depending on where we are in the world and how we've come in, our DNA, what genes are being expressed, etc. One of the key things, though, is to be in balance, mind, body, and spirit. So over the last few days, I've been doing lots of code for people ready to start this 13-day process. And when I'm working with people, I'm going into their code, into their energy in order to tune in. And so that's the way that I work, doing healing modalities. So I tune in, they are another me in Lakesh. People that I work with will have very similar patterns, very similar stories to me. The majority of people that I work with are women around a similar age to me. So again, we've all got similar archetype and story going on, although I'm working with people internationally at the moment. So that's very key as well, to learning about different aspects of how that expresses, and how we have slightly different things going on because of that dynamic where we are on planet Earth. And so this is really key as to knowing that if we go out of balance in our mind, so if we spend too much time in our mind, on the internet, using devices that are high in radioactivity, that is going to affect us, and we need time out. So yesterday, beautiful, beautiful weather the last couple of days in Glastonbury area, and I've been out on the land doing really key grounding work for myself. So not being on the computer, not thinking about things, just literally putting my hands in the earth and my feet, bare feet on the earth as well at times, and shaping my garden, really working with making things again blue hand energy that create beauty and joy and peace. And that was my sanctuary, and for my mum as well. Last year she came to live here with me. So it's coming into that balance and knowing how it feels when you go out of balance. That's so key as well. What our coping mechanisms are, foods that we're eating that aren't healthy for us, that maybe we've been conditioned to do that, and also recognizing that a lot of the things that we do as human beings have come because of company influence. So they're not truths, they aren't um, told to us as that, though. You know, they're sold as though this is healthy for you, this is how you should be. And I'm really going deep on that now, especially for women, is understanding how many companies, particularly in America, have shaped how we do our whole persona, how we look, how we dress, how we think. These are memes, these are scripts that somebody has thought up in order to sell a product. And it's really, really important to become discerning about that now. So people are waking up to the fact that they've been told, for example, that dairy is good for them, that meat is good for them. And so time for people to do their own research on everything, especially to do with health, because again, a lot of people are just accepting what they're told by huge corporate companies that make a lot of money and have an agenda around selling this product and making sure that people have this product. And again, if you look at the computer industry in particular, there's a lot of products sold around a problem that is created by that industry. So viruses, for example, that are created in computers by companies, and then a product is sold to fix that, such as firewalls, etc. Just go and do the research, follow the cosmic cookie trail if you haven't done that already, and become very, very self-aware and start asking questions in order to preserve and rebirth your personal sovereignty. Whenever we've got the moon in Scorpio or the sun in Scorpio or a key planet in Scorpio, then this is a time to focus on death and rebirth, intimacy, wounding, what's coming up, So today, because of that Scorpio energy, yesterday and tomorrow will be focusing on the wound. How can we have intimacy? How can we trust people if they lie to us, if they manipulate us? And again, bringing that back from the corporate, bringing that back right back to within our own personal family. Wherever we have been lied to, wherever we have felt manipulated, coerced, unsafe, these are the key things that are coming up to be healed. So today we have a very exciting card around shaping our destiny, alchemy. Day 3 is always a day of alchemy. And the new myth. So it's coming in, it's exciting. And each one of us has to bring the new myth in through us. That's the key focus. So the Sun card is today. And again, this is so key. So in the Mayan framework, we're looking to reconnect to the galactic sun. And so all these templates, all these interfaces that have got in the way around how we've been conditioned to believe a myth that is not true about who we are as a human being, our sovereignty, and so key, all of that. So just to, again, I'll put this link on under. It's card 19, which is Blue Storm in the Mayan. But again, Blue Storm and the Sun have Pluto as the key planet. So Pluto is about the shadow. It's about death, end of, we're ending old times, society is ending, our old ways are ending so that we can come into this new way of being for human beings. And it's a challenge. So we're going through the birth canal right now on letting go of all these old codependent ways. So codependency is when we're out of balance and we are dependent in an unhealthy way on anything, anyone, any substance. And so this energy is, again, it's huge on one level. On another level, it's about the more that we come into healing our shadow, the more we stop living our shadow story, the more we start to embody our spirit in our heart, the more our holograph changes on the inside. And as we're going through this process on mind, body, and spirit, as we're learning to live in a way that is enhancing our light, enhancing our beauty, our connection, our sovereignty, remembering who we really are, we can heal as long as we are not doing things that are poisonous to our human being self. So this is the highest light coming in over and over again. This is the inner alchemy that is the key to set us free. So again, it sounds sometimes like people are speaking in tongues when they talk about this stuff, because it's a concept, it's dogma on one level. But once you start doing this process yourself, using emotional freedom technique, then you will see that everything that comes in every day that seems to be a problem is actually the solution. So I'm just checking my notes now. We're on Moon 9, we're in the Gateway Moon, and we're on day 25 today. So 25, 26, 27, 28. So in 4 days' time, this will end and we'll go into the manifestation moon. So we'll see what we've created since the 26th of July when the first moon began. So again, it's simple. You don't need to understand any of the astrology on one level or the cosmology even. It's just, how do I feel? How empowered do I feel? Am I shaping my destiny? Despite everything that's going on the planet, am I still going ahead with my dream, with my game plan? Remember, the dream that we have, the vision, is what we came here for. And so to believe in yourself, believe in how you are a conscious creator, you're powerful, you came here at this time to bring that in through healing yourself first and becoming a clear sign. So yesterday, the challenge, you will have experienced something maybe yesterday that came up for you around what needs to clear around the old world. We've got Chirons at 8 degrees, so that's Chiron in Aries. So 8 is the number of integration. It was the number of the full moon in Libra. Where is that in your chart? We've got Psyche is at 21 degrees, that's an asteroid in Gemini. And we've got Mercury at 23 degrees, Pisces. And we're going to have Mercury going into Aries soon. So again, we're going over old ground around what is the spiritual story? What is my higher self? What is the story that I am here to live now, that I'm here to embody now? Psyche is an asteroid. Again, Google this. The ladies that I'm working with at the moment, this is being done in your chart. What's the old story here? What's the wounding story that's going on for you? That's still residual in some way? What's coming up to be healed? Remember, this time on planet Earth with the bigger planets is going back to just before the Second World War. So we're repeating that energy. The Black Moon Lilith is 2011, 2012. And she's also at 8 degrees. So again, if you've got Black Moon Lilith in your chart, this is a really key time for you around what do you value, what do you love, what's coming up for you, what's your contrary Mary. That's what Lilith's all about. Contrary Mary energy, not going with the tribal mindset, being free to really connect to what's right. Right relationship is the North Node in Gemini. And again, this is going back to 2001 energy. So what were you doing back then? Today we've got the Sun sextiling, Sun in Aries, sextiling Saturn in Aquarius. So the Sun bringing light to the structure of Aquarius, solution focused, getting clear of our emotional story, what's right for everybody on the planet, respecting our uniqueness and not being forced to do something because of somebody else's fear. The moon goes into Sagittarius tomorrow and it will be crossing the galactic center on Friday. So again, whenever we go to the galactic center, remember this 260-day spiral is all about Sagittarius energy. It's what it was initiated in. It's what are our wounds? What, again, Google that. Google Chiron. Chiron as an asteroid was discovered in 1977, which in the UK, that was the time of punk, for example. Think about what you were doing back then, what was coming in for you then. As soon as something's discovered, whether it be a star, an asteroid, treasure, a tomb, that means we're ready for that consciousness to come in. So think about what was going on for you then. Where's Sagittarius in your chart as well? Venus sextiles the nodes. So Venus in Aries is sextiling the nodes in Gemini. So again, what's coming up for you around maturation, new beginning, new story, healed person, being an adult who's setting out on a new adventure this year. What's your old story? Again, another really key way to look at this is what historically has gone on for you at this time of year. What wounding events have gone on for you? What major events have happened for you at this time? So in the UK, Mother's Day, for me, my son being born, and I remember it was a really lovely day when he was born as well. The weather was fantastic. I've had lots of big events around property at this time, going to court at the time of the bank crash, for example, as a property developer, as I was back then. And so things happening in a way that opened my eyes to something else as well. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be about. And remember, this is our continual soul journey. We don't know what we don't know. Didn't know anything about Glastonbury, didn't know I was going to come and live here, wasn't on the radar, wasn't on the 5-year plan, but it's on your soul's plan. That's the thing. So just being open to going off into the wild, going off, for example, me meeting my partner who lives in California, going over there, going to Mexico, none of that was on my radar. Going to Ireland in 2017 wasn't on my radar. So being open to the magic as well, just being open to our soul directing us. So Friday, be open to having a really magical day then, leaving the past behind. We've got Mercury sextiles Pluto, that's at 26 degrees. And so again, this is key to big story in America and what was happening before the Civil War. So looking at all these patterns, and once you really start to get into astrology, you realize that everything's a developing pattern, an expanding pattern, bringing us another chunk of learning, another chunk of experience. And so tomorrow we go into that Venus energy. We have got yellow self-existing star tomorrow. And so that's a really magical day for Venus as well. They connect together with the Mayan calendar. So being the star that we really are. And then on Friday, we've got red overtone moon. So seeing how we're mastering being authentic, being the beacon of light, and listening to our higher self, Mercury, who's trying to bring this new story in for us. So listen, and no matter what your old habits are, see if you can overcome them and really start to heal yourself and your story in order to become a clear sign. I am going to make another video for the rest of this Wavespell, and there's so much to share. If you'd like to know more about your code, if you'd like to join the next 52-day process and have all this awareness, then please do get in touch with me. There are links for you to follow and send me some information about you underneath. We're having an amazing time in this group doing this process. And again, it's the synchronicities, it's the synergy of energy of people working together with like-minded purpose. That's the Aquarius energy right now. Being solution focused, doing the healing, living the magic. Lots of love, and hope you have an amazing week. Bye for now.